So I've done videos on both Rent the Runway and I've done a video on Nuuly, and I am finding myself exploring the rental service slash unconditional wardrobe accumulation, that's how I'm gonna say that, route, instead of just buying a ton of things, because I struggle between walking this line of I don't really want to contribute to a fashion waste problem and oh, I want to be a fashion girly. So I tried Nuuly, comparison to Rent the Runway. We're gonna hide that cord, and I thought I would do a video because they're two very similar services, but at the same time they're very, very different. Something that I like about both of them is that you're not filling up your closet as someone who has grown to hate clutter. As someone who previously had a ton of clutter, I can say with full certainty that I will probably never go back to traditional clothing service, and I will probably rent until the end of my days. I will treat my wardrobe like a library, but one that's been dry cleaned. So let's get into the comparison between Rent the Runway and Nuuly. Chart that I've been working on, that I'm going to be constantly looking down at my tablet to be like, okay, what's the next point? So to start off, the basic plan of Rent the Runway is 4 pieces twice a month. So you get to choose how frequently that comes. Something I really like about that is you feel like you have a ton more variety. I think if you were to get everything all at once, you kind of feel like you have to be a little bit more, you have to wear them all at once. So being able to split it up in half is really good for me, but for other people who want all their pieces at once, you might want to consider Nuuly, where they send you 6 pieces a month. Nuuly is also $88 a month for those 6 pieces in comparison to Rent the Runway that gives you 4 pieces twice a month. There is clearly a price discrepancy. I'll get into that one later. Number 2, uses less plastic. As my boyfriend loves to complain about, we do have a ton of plastic bags and hangers whenever we have a shipment. I had Rent the Runway accidentally lost one of my shipments, and I missed out on the holidays, so I contacted them to let them know that that was an issue, that I lost my shipment, or that return mates lost my shipment, and they actually opened up 12 slots for me. So I got 12 items in 1 month, which was amazing. But at the same time, we did accumulate a ton of plastic bags. So when you get Rent the Runway, they come in these giant bags that have a ton of plastic in them, which means that they've been freshly dry cleaned. It's to make sure the clothes stay kind of clean and fresh. Versus Nuuly, you get a cloth box. My boyfriend is so sick of these because I currently have both subscriptions up right now, where you get 6 items and none of them have any plastic wrap on them. So Nuuly actually wins the comparison of who uses less plastic, which accumulates less waste. With Rent the Runway, you can send back the hangers and the bags and they recycle them, but that also requires trusting in the service to actually recycle them. I'm not there to say if they actually recycle or not. However, I do have a hard time with recycling as a system in the US, and I don't really feel like they're that necessary. If they're all dry cleaned and being put in a bag or put in a box, that's kind of enough for me. Both services you do not have to wash. They offer dry cleaning, which is included in their basic package, and they don't use perk when dry cleaning the clothes, which is very important. Here is visual. Cinematic mode is always better. Okay. Offer backup sizes. So if you get a wrong size or if something does not fit right on Nuuly, you are out of luck because they are not going to send you a backup size, which annoys me, especially because sizing is so volatile. You have me who is a 24 to 25 in some jeans, and in old vintage jeans, I'm a size 28. There is absolutely no middle ground to that. So if something doesn't fit right, you're kind of stuck. If you were renting something for an event like I am currently and it doesn't really look right, it's a weird cutout.
I kind of like it.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
I feel like it makes me look kind of short and stocky. Sucks to be you, but with Rent the Runway, if you contact them and say, hey, this doesn't fit, most likely if it's a one-time rental, you have a guaranteed 1 extra size that they'll send you. But if it doesn't fit right and you're talking to a Rent the Runway representative and it's part of your membership. I've had so many times where I'm like, hey, I have this event in a week and this doesn't fit right. Is there a possibility I can get an extra spot? And they'll include that. I would say that Rent the Runway's customer service is top tier, and I'm actually going to add that to this graph. Rent the Runway's customer service is fantastic. Nuuly's is good. It's good. I haven't really called them with a lot of issues, but it's really hard to beat Rent the Runway and their customer service, because there's so many times where I have actually needed additional sizes, or my shipment is lost, as I've mentioned before, and then they just open up the slots for you. They really do value their customers a lot. Offers one-time rental. Rent the Runway. Nuuly doesn't offer one-time rentals. You can only really purchase off of their thrift store, or you can rent from them part of their subscription. You can't just order something one time. If you are interested in trying one of them out and you just want to rent one thing, Rent the Runway is the only way to go. If you have a gala and you don't have a membership, Rent the Runway is going to be able to help you. Nuuly, you have to sign up for a whole service. It's much easier to do one versus the other. Offers plus size clothing. So both of them offer plus size clothing. However, Nuuly uses plus size models. So there's a difference. You can look at something and be like, oh yeah, that's cute. When you go on Nuuly's website, you will see, no matter what sizes you pick, that they will include plus size models in them, even if you are a size 0 or size 2. Offers petite sizing. Nuuly, something I really appreciate as a short person. So if you look on their website, that you can actually, so when you sign up, you can pick your sizes, and if you're like me, I got to choose petite sizes versus Rent the Runway, where I didn't have that option of picking petite sizes. So everything is a little too long on me for Rent the Runway. When I rent mini dresses, they're more like mid-thigh dresses. Plan flexibility. So with Rent the Runway, the basic package, you can add on to it. You can add more shipments per month, or you can add more items per shipment. With Nuuly, they have one basic plan of six per month, and you can add on top of that, but they're not going to give you more than one a month. And that really depends on who you are. For me, I think I would be okay with just one shipment per month, but for someone who really does like the variety and needs like a constant change, or they have a lot of things that they go to and they're all very different, they all require different attire outfits, Rent the Runway is going to be better for you. Has more options. Rent the Runway has significantly more clothes. They have significantly more styles. They even offer, as of right now, they're even offering home decor, which I'm not going to do because I don't care about that. However, I do care about the dresses I wear. So because there's a lot more, they've been around a lot longer. I'm not saying that Nuuly doesn't have that option, but Rent the Runway has way more outfits. There are way more things you could pick from. There are way more aesthetics, if you will. Nuuly is very anthropology, and that's not bad. Actually, a lot of what you see on there is anthropology. Yeah, I see a lot of Nuuly and Rent the Runway and Urban Outfitters, which it really depends on who you are. So versus Rent the Runway, which offers a little bit more diversity and brands. So you have Halston, you have Jason Wu, you have All Saints, you have Armani. It's much higher end. Okay, who has more brands? Rent the Runway. Again, Rent the Runway has been around much longer than Nuuly. Rent the Runway has kind of revolutionized that rental space. So I would say that Rent the Runway, if you are not going for that kind of boho feeling, Rent the Runway is going to be a better fit. Nuuly offers a lot of boho, very trendy things, but I almost sometimes feel like I am a little too old to be wearing some of the things they offer on there, which is stupid because I'm in my 20s. But I would say that when I need to dress appropriately for work, or need to be conservative for an event, or something around those lines, Rent the Runway is going to be a better fit for me. Maternity clothes for my pregnant queens, not me. Rent the Runway offers maternity sizing. Nuuly doesn't offer any for maternity sizing. Who has better looking clothes or newer looking clothes? Rent the Runway. This is a Nuuly sweater, and I for sure can tell that someone has worn it, which is not a bad thing. You can just tell that it's been worn a lot. So for me, as someone who loves when a piece feels kind of worn in and it feels very relaxed, fit, perfect. But for someone who is a little OCD and a little bit of a neat freak, Rent the Runway is going to be a better choice for you. I would say that Nuuly is sometimes a little too young and bold for me. As I have gotten older and I have gotten more into the classic, the very chic, timeless pieces, Rent the Runway has been a way better fit for me, and I have loved trying Nuuly, but I love trying Nuuly, especially their trousers section. However, I don't think it's meant for me at this phase of my life. I believe that your style should age with you, and as I am out of that kind of Anthropologie, Urban Outfitters, free people kind of style, I've been more attracted to the much more chic, the much more classic, the older, and I understand that it's a little too conservative and kind of basic, but Rent the Runway does offer more of that for me. I am no longer going for crop tops and anything super sparkly. I am more going towards something that's very fitted and very tailored and classic, and Rent the Runway offers that. Both are great services. It just really depends on what phase in life you are. I think Nuuly is great, but I don't know if they're going to be in my closet with some form of longevity. I think that their trousers and the fact that they offer petite sizes, which is a huge deal for me, is something that would make me consider sticking around for a little while. But as someone who likes to wear most of these pieces to work and I rely on this for my professional wardrobe, I would say that Rent the Runway is probably a better choice for me personally. I think if I went out a little bit more and dressed up and went clubbing, Nuuly might be perfect. But I'm not. I'm a grandma.